or Jaws?
Put the gun down before you kill someone.
Teenage Girl's Diary.
Hello, and welcome to another Dollar Store Drive-In. I'm your host, Laura.
I'm Joel.
And we're the Newlydeads.
I almost said I'm driving. I'm not driving. I'm sitting.
No, yeah, but Joel actually went to the actual drive-in last weekend. How was that, Joel? Did you have fun?
That was an experience. The short answer is yes. And yes, I would go again. The long answer is that the McHenry Drive-In owes me an apology.
Why?
Because they had on their schedule as of Wednesday that we were going to go see the Meg 2, The Trench, which, take it or leave it, with Jaws, the original shark movie that started it all, as a double feature on Friday night. And we waited to go to Friday night because of that, because the other night was Mission Impossible and Barbie, which would have been fine too, because I wanted to see both. But it was a Friday. Perfect. Let's go. We get there. We get our food. We're getting our
So
cars.
we're pulling
set up.
in, and it said Barbie and the Meg,
But
and I was like,
we weren't sure if that was just, because they've been playing both movies all week, or we're going to be. So I'm like, those are like the first run movies, so maybe that was it, but that didn't factor in Mission Impossible. But anyway, I was still believing that they were doing that. And we got our food, got our car spot, perfect spot, set up our seats. Sat down, we're sitting there eating our food, and they're doing trivia, and they're like, tonight's trivia, the first question relates to our movie, who invented Barbie, or something like that. And I went, son of a... And, yeah.
And he was very sad the rest of the night.
I had my Jaws shirt on, I talked to the concessions guy, and he's like, yeah, they held it over because it was doing so well, so the boss decided to keep watching it. I'm like, they really need to, then figure that out way earlier on, because...
And make a big announcement. Because we
Something.
just checked the website this week, or last week.
Like on Wednesday, we checked it.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure.
And it still said, the Meg
Jaws.
2 and Jaws.
And we drove an hour and a half, got food, paid, the higher cost. Because if we would have gone on Thursday, it would have been half the price. But we went on Friday because I wanted to see Jaws. And I said, please, can we go on Friday instead? And we did. And I paid the extra for the tickets. And they offered to have us come back and see the double feature this weekend. And I said, because I'm not driving an hour and a half again just for a free movie that is going to cost us gas money. Plus
That you already saw.
Yeah. I'm not watching the Meg again. God help us. And we watched Jaws the next night at home. So not the greatest way to start. And I rambled on. So McHenry Drive-In, I'm looking at you.
But you had fun.
Do better. I did have fun. The food
And
was good.
Yeah, he's never been to a drive-in before.
And I got to spend the evening with my beautiful wife, so all those things are wins.
Yeah.
But that's not why we're here today.
No, we're here because we watch movies in our house.
A lot.
And call it a drive-in.
We do. The Dollar Store Drive-In, where we go find movies at the Dollar Tree, Goodwill, wherever. Anything under $5 we haven't seen that preferably is a horror film or sci-fi. We'll review it. We also get films from IT and Distribution and from Justin Cook PR. So if you have a movie that you've made, like our friend Joe D. Monroe, Joe, is that right? Did I say that right? Joe Monroe, Joe D. Monroe. Yeah, I think that's right. I apologize. I put it here just to clarify. Who made a movie and had us review it for him. Any of those things we'll also do if it doesn't cost us any money. So
This is our dog, Shaggy.
Oh, that's Shaggy.
If this is your first time watching.
Yes.
He
Bailey's
likes
over there.
to
He's our other dog.
Stretch and make noises and stare at us longingly.
He likes to get attention, and for whatever reason, when we're talking to the camera and we're sitting in these chairs, he feels like he has to be right here.
He's a sensitive puppy.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
anyway.
He likes us. So,
this week,
what did we watch?
we watched that film right there, 2019's Pentagram. Not to be confused with the Newlydeads, available on our store at thenewlydeads.com, our sticker for Pentagramma.
She's adorable.
Anyway, this is our movie. So what's this all about?
Well, on the back, Europe Today says it's one hell of a movie and utterly chilling.
Incidentally, if you caught last week's episode, I couldn't find a single thing about anything called Europe Today other than a news program on the BBC that was like current events, nothing to do with movies.
So Europe Today
I don't know if that's
fake news?
Mm-hmm.
Fake news. Okay, so, you ready? On the run from a string of petty robberies en route from New York to Los Angeles, a group of teenagers?
They were
They
like
are not
20
teenagers.
to 30 teenagers.
At least in their 30s.
Not in 18 or 19.
Oh, anyways, Luke, Holly, Max, and Lauren find themselves holed up in a decaying house deep in the woods. Exploring the house, Holly encounters Oliver, a mysterious Englishman, lying in the middle of a candle-lit pentagram. Oliver entices Holly inside the pentagram and quickly followed by the rest of the gang. Oliver then reveals that they are all now cursed to spend the rest of their lives inside the pentagram or face certain death if they step outside. Unconvinced by Oliver's story, Max pushes him out of the pentagram, whereupon he is instantly killed by a horrific demonic entity.
We'll get to that.
There is no escape. And it says it's inspired by a true story.
I want to know what true story inspired this film because it's never indicated anywhere that I could tell. Maybe in the trailer we'll see that they'll say, based on the real events of the something, something, something.
I got nothing.
I don't believe there was a real story involved.
No.
Just like I don't believe that Europe Today is a real news source, so I'm going to call BS on both things.
BS, sirs
But-
and ma'ams. Yes.
Maybe
So,
we should pull the trailer around and
you don't want to do the rundown real quick?
we do the rundown with Jim after the trailer, the assemblage of clips.
All right. Let's run the trailer.
A ritual has begun. A ritual that requires a sacrifice.
Oh, sweet Jesus, this is what you call a house? Kids must have had it harder than I thought.
Hello?
Not a bad hideout. What do you say?
Ollie! What is this?
It's the price you pay for stepping inside the pentagram.
So we're trapped inside this circle.
Yes. It's watching. It's listening. It's time.
Time for what? There's a way out of this and you know it. You've always known it.
There is nothing stopping us from ending this thing right now.
What are you doing?
Now you'll see what happens when a soul is promised and not delivered.
We're back. I'm sure you threw in some farts.
Maybe.
Oh, I know you did.
There's some other sounds.
It deserved some farts.
Words, pictures.
Tell us about the film, Joel. Tell us about the film.
So I have notes. Some reason Bailey over there, his tail keeps going. "Meow, meow." I don't know why. Weird. I have notes, as you guys know. For people who watch the show on the regular, you know that I like to take notes, draw pictures. This time I've got
Mouth.
yeah, we'll get to that. A little devil guy, pumpkin, a weird guy with a little
Ghost.
bug-eyed dude. And a ghost that's really afraid of something, but we don't know what.
Shivering and shaking.
Shivering and a shaking, just like the song. So this is from 2019. Currently on the Internet Movie Database, it is sitting at 2.7 out of 10. I don't think that's low enough. It's directed by Steve Lawson, who also wrote the film. He is known for a film called Killosaurus, which sounds pretty good, but I don't know. And I put these two movies in here because they sound like they're part of a series of films that he's working on. Ripper Untold and Ripper's Revenge. I'm assuming based on Jack the Ripper or one of the other
Some
Rippers.
sort of ripper.
Yeah, I don't know if it's about people that fart or it's about the Ripper that cuts people open and murders them to death.
Fart ripper.
I don't know. But yes, he wrote and directed this film. This stars one Matthew McGuchan, McGuchan, that's how I'm going to say it. He did a movie called Truth or Die and a film called LD50 Lethal Dose. Don't know about either of those, but they sounded interesting, so I'll put the little box art over here so you can take a look at it. Jonathan Southcott was in a film called Renegades and Dead Cert. Both sound pretty...
Dead cert.
C-E-R-T. Cert.
Like your dead certificate?
I'm assuming like death certificate, but dead cert. Rachel Warren, who was in Ripper's Revenge, and a film called Super Seducer 2. I'm sorry, a video game called Super Seducer 2, which sounds like a video game that's advertised on a naughty website.
Fans only. Whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, only fans.
But yeah, it's a video game. Super Seducer 2. Like maybe like Leadership.
Fans only.
And finally, Michael McKell, who was in the 2021 film called Splinter, not to be confused with the Splinter film, the body horror movie. That is fantastic. If you've never seen it, go watch it now. It is top tier. Now, here's the funny thing, is that Michael McKell was in 2 films we've talked about, I think twice before. He was in Angel of Auschwitz and Guard of Auschwitz, the Terry Lee Coker trilogy about Auschwitz. Remember Terry Lee Coker?
Yes.
Yeah, he made 3 films with Auschwitz in the title, and Michael McKell was in 2 of them. So, tying in right there.
It was the Coker family.
Yep.
Wasn't it? Didn't we have that? What movie did we watch?
I don't remember. I should have looked that up.
It was all the Cokers.
But there was all the Cokers.
It's like Stephanie
involved.
Coker and like
Jim
Jimmy
Bob.
John. Jimmy John?
Jim Bob and Jimmy John's
Jimmy John.
Coker, and
Jim
Pepsi
Bob.
Coker and RC Coker and Sprite Coker and Coke Coker.
Coker.
Coker. His mean parents. But so that's the cast and sort of crew of the film Pentagram. That's sitting down here now with a weird feeling cover. It's very
Creepy.
Smoothy.
It's velvety.
Velvety, yeah, I don't know.
Oh, you want me to keep it up there?
Well, that way they can see the fine.
Do you really want to see it?
Maybe. So now comes the fun part.
I fell asleep
That's a bad sign, because if she falls asleep, that means
twice.
you're losing points, kids.
Yeah. I fell asleep twice. I tried staying up.
She did, and I
drank
tried
a lot
to
of
get her
coffee.
up, and she's like, this movie just isn't doing it for me. First of all, they all had weird accents, even the English guy.
And not the right accent.
Yeah, they all had like a weird kind of like, almost like a Pennsylvanian accent, but with New York and like the middle, like Eastern European countries, like a mixture.
I was gonna say they were from New York.
Supposedly, but like Philadelphia and New York are 2 very different accents, and New York is different depending on which part of the city you're from.
Very true.
So Brooklyn versus Manhattan, it's going to be different.
They're
Jersey,
definitely not teenagers, like we said.
The closest one was the drug addict. She might have been 20, 21, but even that I'm doubtful.
Because, she's the older sister to that guy.
Right, and he looked older than her, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But they definitely were not teenagers, and that's something I saw in some of the reviews I read. They said teenagers, really? No, they were not.
I wish I could show them.
I can put pictures. I always put pictures up.
This one in particular.
I'll put pictures up of the main stars right here, so you can see them as we're talking, and you can judge for yourself. And if you think they're actually teenagers and you can prove it, let us know at contact@thenewlydeads.com, and we'll be happy to review that for you. I have to say the opening credits were the longest credits I think I've ever had in my life, and there was only 8 cast members listed. There was very little special effects.
It's because they were spaced apart so big.
It was weird.
It was like 4 names on the thing, but it was like a rolling thing. So it was just, they were like Joel Kenyon, Laura Kenyon, Shaggy Kenyon, Bailey Kenyon, and then it was just like
Jack Ham Crazy Fish.
Yeah.
It was weird.
It was bad. Like why?
And in the opening scene,
Maybe they liked the song.
Probably they paid for it and they wanted to get their money's worth. I have to say that at the very beginning, I knew this was going to be a bad trip when they ripped off Pulp Fiction.
Yeah. They really did rip off Pulp Fiction in the beginning.
Like,
the restaurant scene.
If you've seen the scene with Tim Roth and Amanda Plummer at the beginning of the Honey Bunny scene at the beginning of Pulp Fiction, you know exactly what we're talking about. And they ripped it off almost word for word for the first couple of sentences that were spoken.
Mm-hmm.
But that's where the comparisons ended.
Yeah, the rest of it was hot garbage.
Yeah, I actually wrote here, what in the actual hell is this plot? Because the plot literally is what it says on the box. This dude from Europe who says, I've got an English accent. He draws a pentagram on the floor, puts candles on all 5 points, lays down in the middle of it and has tried this once before, and apparently, or was it the same time? Maybe he was still there from the same time.
He was still there from the same time, which who knows when that happened.
Right, because there's no way that could have... I mean, obviously if it was the same time, that's what they're indicating, I guess, because he wouldn't be able to leave otherwise, based on the rules. But the candles that he have couldn't have lasted that long. Plus, without food and water, it's not like it keeps you alive. You are still subject to the rules of the world. And
I mean, I understand if there's like a magical world. Like, Joel didn't even understand because, like, he's like, oh, I see. Maybe if you do what they want you to do, they provide you with the things that you need in order for you to keep surviving in the pentagram. No.
And we should clarify that the thing that we're talking about is what Laura lovingly referred to as Teef Mouf and his big belly slasher. Which...
So it says on the back of the box, right? It says that he's instantly killed by a horrific demonic entity. So you're not allowed to leave the pentagram.
Nope.
If you do, this demonic force will come get you. So, like, why?
Because you're breaking the rules.
But only if you go in the pentagram, then you get branded, and then now you have to stay in the pentagram forever. Who drew the pentagram? Why did you draw the pentagram? And what is the point? I think he does say something along the lines of that, like, if you sacrifice someone while you're in the pentagram, then you will get all the power of the demonic entity or something, and then they'll let you go.
But the first time he tried it, the girl's like, I'm not having any of this. And she left before she even got, like... Did she die? I don't remember.
Probably.
Did she just leave?
She had to have died.
But
because anytime you step foot in the pentagram, you're branded, and then as soon as you leave, everything shakes, and then Teef Mouf shows up.
And by branded, we basically mean that it looks like somebody gave you a hickey. It doesn't look like anything. It just looks like you got hurt.
So Teef Mouf looks kind of very like they're trying very hard to be Guillermo del Toro, in Pan's Labyrinth, kind of
like if
like
Chatterbox,
a Tool video
from Hellraiser, if Chatterbox and
the eye guy
from Pan's Labyrinth had a baby, that would be Teef
Mouf
Mouf and his big belly slasher. Which his big belly slasher is a like a sickle scythe kind of like bladed weapon that every time he appears, things shake. There's a very CGI'd fire. He's there and he goes, and then he goes, and he slices them across the belly, and then he disappears and they die.
And then they disappear
once, and then they poof, right? But their belongings are left behind, thankfully. Otherwise, they wouldn't have.
And all these candles just laying around.
That's the only reason I can think that he may have been able to last longer.
I don't understand it though. Where are you pooping? Where are you peeing?
There was no poop.
There's no
anywhere.
food. There's no water.
Nope.
You're literally in the middle of a room of an old abandoned house that's like rotting and like, dilapidated.
With candles that are like this big.
Yeah.
That are burning rather swiftly.
Yeah.
So he lures the one girl in, and then they go in to get her out, and then they're all stuck in there, and then they're dealing with Teef Mouf and his big belly slasher, which looks kind of like a video game monster too, if you want to go that far.
Yeah, he did.
But I mean,
big belly slasher.
So one of the girls that's a drug addict, and they're trying to get her off drugs, but she's still addicted. She's the only one that paid attention and knew what the rules were.
Yeah. She's
and
like, the rules are the rules, and the facts are the facts.
You have to pay the Teef tax. The Teef tax.
tax.
And Laura noticed that there were a lot of birds.
Bird noises.
Yeah.
Chirping, like na 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 na, with like the.
Whoever made the background sound effects for this film,
bad.
Apparently, just was like, I'm gonna put bird noises because that'll sound like they're in the middle of like some trees.
And it's just constant bird noises.
It's like an ambient noise.
Just like chirping, chirping, chirping.
It's ridiculous, and it doesn't stop. Even when Teef Mouf and his big belly slasher show up, there's still birds in the background happily singing away. Also, the camera would not stop moving. I have vertigo that comes on periodically, and it was like having vertigo because the camera just was like constantly like non-stop. It was supposed to be this handheld effect, which is fine every once in a while, but after a while you gotta have some sort of static shot, people. Come on. I figured out the ending before it happened.
Yeah, he figured it out in the beginning.
Oh.
Well, so in the restaurant, right? Can I tell that part?
Sure.
Yeah, in the restaurant.
I mean, we can give away the ending if you want. I don't care.
Please don't watch this movie. It's very, 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 very
The
boring.
only thing is to see Teef Mouf and his Big Belly Slasher. I'll try to get a picture of him in here so you don't have to watch it. That's the best thing that came out of this.
Teeth,
But anyway,
mouth, and a big belly.
what about the beginning?
So when they're doing the everybody cool it, it's a robbery part.
Oh, yeah.
They're like, don't call the cops. And so this really cute, like, girl next door waitress is like, don't worry, we don't call the cops around here.
We handle things our own way.
Yeah, our own way. And then she lets him go, but then she shoots a rifle at him. And then she proceeds to, like, hunt them down.
She's got a gun with a sight on it. She pops the radiator of the car so they don't get very far. That's why they end up at the house, because they're looking for water to put in the radiator to get down the road to get away from the townsfolk who end up showing up at the house and are Don't Breathe, but with a father-daughter team. You kind of get the idea of where this was going.
If you've seen Don't Breathe,
If you've seen Don't
you
Breathe.
know.
Turkey baster. Yeah, and I wrote here, sadly, this was a turd, and then I wrote poop. Because I called the turd poop, or I called the poop turd. It'll keep the show PG, so I won't say the other word, but... Yeah. This, if you haven't figured this out by now, we did not care for this.
I fell asleep during it.
Other than Teef Mouf and his Big Belly Slasher, that was the best thing that came out of this.
Mm-hmm.
And I just like saying it because it's a fun name you
And
came up
Big
with.
Belly Slasher.
So I like
Teef
saying
Mouf.
that part.
And it's not, teeth, mouth. It's teeth,
Mouth.
mouth.
And
Like
his Big Belly Slasher.
MOWF.
Yep, I
Mouth.
wrote it down here. And I drew pictures of them, trying to get them right. I like my first picture the best, even though the last one is probably the closest.
I think you should turn Teef Mouf and his Big Belly Slasher into a sticker.
And do like a button or a sticker or something. Incidentally, if you would like to buy a sticker or button from us, including things like our logo and whatnot, we are going to be at the Witches Market.
Oh.
I'll put the information up here for the Witches Market in October on the 7th. So
You can always contact us at the Newlydeads.
I put that up there earlier, but I will happily throw it back up here again. And you can also find our stuff for purchase, except not this yet. This hasn't been designed
We're going to work
yet.
on it.
But at thenewlydeads.com. Also right here. So I guess, are we at the time to talk about already?
Yeah.
The ratings?
Let's do it.
What are we rating this out of?
1 out of 5 candles.
Oh,
So many candles.
so many candles. And the one that went down the stairs.
I knew it was
Nearly
going
killed
to.
a man. Just to watch him die. Bailey is angry. If you hear the growling and the little noises in the background, that's Bailey, because
He keeps
he's-
going.
He wants to come over here, and Shaggy's right here, and he wants to get on one of our laps. I guarantee it. Yeah, he's very cute when he makes that noise. But anyway,
Yeah, his cheeks puff out.
so here's the thing. I really wanted to give it a lower score, but I like the idea of people being trapped in a situation that they can't get out of, even though this one was ridiculous and dumb. And then the other thing that I liked about it was Teef Mouf and his Big Belly Slasher. I just liked saying it. I don't know that the design of the creature was that great.
I
and
think
the
he would
special
have been
effects
cool.
were not
Yeah.
great.
If they had better special effects, he would have been neat.
There's something
Even
there.
if they just had like a dude.
Yeah, just a dude that
You
shows
don't have
up.
to have
He's like,
Hellfire. You just have him like pop out of a closet.
he's like, hey, slice.
Slice.
Peace. And he leaves.
Now you're dead with your belly hanging out.
Ooh. So based on that, I'm going to give it a half a point for the idea of being trapped in a situation you can't get out of, and half a point for Teef Mouf and his Big Belly Slasher. So that's 1 point.
I'm just giving it a half a point.
One candle.
Half of a candle. A melted candle.
Because you fell asleep.
I fell asleep twice.
It was better than
Deep Sea or whatever it's called.
Dead Sea?
Dead Sea.
Was it better than Dead Sea?
Better than Dead Sea.
Okay, so it gets 1 point there, but it gets half off because you fell asleep
Twice.
twice.
Yeah.
I see your Teef Mouf.
So, if they don't want to watch this movie, which we recommend not to,
Don't, please. Just find something else.
anything. What do you recommend?
I'll tell you where it's available here, just in case you really want to watch it, but I don't recommend
If
it.
you like torturing yourself, or if you like going to sleep.
If you need something to go to sleep, it's like Ambien. You know, Ambien. Why did I say Ambien?
Ambien.
It's like Ambien. It's like Ambien for the movies.
Fun. It's Ambien.
It's Ambien. It's very fancy. Anyway, so I tried to think of something that would be close to this. I couldn't think of anything that was too close to this, but I was like, this is as close as it's going to get. So I'm going to recommend that you watch 1987's Hellraiser.
Oh.
Because
Yes.
there is a person who wants power. In order to get that power, has to make a deal with an entity that doesn't really know exactly what the true power is. There's a situation that, kind of get trapped in. And there's a guy that shows up that has big teeth and doesn't have a belly slasher, but they have, hooks and chains that fly out that rip open things, and Jesus wept. So.
And then there's also a dude like trapped in a room, like a dirty old
Frank.
room.
Good old Frank. So yeah, that's my recommendation. Hellraiser is one of those films that has grown on me over the years, but not my first choice to put in on a rainy day. But I understand. It's appeal.
It's a thing.
Yeah.
People like them some Pinhead.
They do like them some Hellpriest. All right.
What are we watching next week?
I was waiting for you to ask. So, chosen at random from the big box of films over there that you can't see, we are going to be watching. Thank you, Google, for your randomization. We are going to be watching 2018's Distorted.
Yay! There's people in it that I like.
We've been watching
Christina Ricci.
We enjoy Yellow Jackets. We're on season 2 that we kind of stopped for a while, and we're finishing it up now. So it's kind of interesting that here's Christina Ricci back again.
And Senior Cusack.
Chicago's very own John Cusack, who we love.
We do.
All right, hit me.
Lauren and Russell Curran decide to move away from the bustle of the city and into the peaceful oasis of the Pinnacle, a coveted luxury condo that boasts ultra-modern design and state-of-the-art features and security systems. When Lauren starts to suspect that the building has a dark side, she seeks help from Vernon, an investigative journalist who has an interest in cyber conspiracy. Together, they come to believe that the Pinnacle may be brainwashing the unsuspecting residents. Yeah, there's people in it that I know. Like that guy. I know that guy. Who's that guy? Tell me who that guy is. Why do I know that guy?
Brendan Fletcher.
Tell me who that is.
Brendan Fletcher.
Tell me.
I just told you.
No, what's he in?
He's been in a ton of stuff. Most recently, the last thing you saw him in was Violent Night.
Oh, yes.
He got blowed up.
Yes.
But I know
you
him.
always talk about him.
I love him. He was in Freddy vs. Jason,
Yes.
which is the first thing I remember seeing him in. But he was in the Uwe Boll trilogy, the Rampage trilogy, which I don't care for Uwe Boll's films. But this trilogy, for whatever reason, speaks to me. I like it. I've seen them all a few times over, and he's the star of them, and I appreciate his work. So I was happy to see that he was in this. But if you're not familiar with him, check him out.
Check it out.
So, Distorted for next week.
Exciting.
So, you might get a little bit of that. I don't know how much I'm going to edit out, but the dog started barking. Bailey's still barking. So, but we wanted to wrap this up, get you kids home safely, so we can get on to chatting with you if we haven't already been chatting with you.
That's the thing. Come chat with us at the end of the episode.
That's right. I forgot about it too.
Hopefully you'll be chatting with us already.
At tinglertelevision.com.
We miss you.
You can come chat with us. People don't ever come and chat with us. Like twice, 2 or 3 times people actually come. And we'd be happy to talk to you about this film or any film, or if you have questions about us or the dogs or the house or whatever. We will talk about anything. Why is the sky blue? Why is the grass green? We'll figure it out.
I'm also interested to know if you guys want to see some more of like our physical artworks and stuff. I don't know. Is that a thing people want to see? Like Joel and I have been doing those ghost paintings where you take like a thrifted painting and then you paint things in it. So like behind Joel over there's like some aliens and stuff that he painted and a sea monster.
It's like a kraken-y type.
A kraken.
Octopus sort of thing. Also, if you want to check out our prior videos before we came to Tingler Television to Dollar Store Drive-In, All of our old videos are on youtube.com/@thenewlydeads. Check it out. Joe Bob says none of that because he doesn't know who we are. But someday maybe. Pentagram. So we blew up Pentagram and we blew up my notes. What's left to do except get out here and go get some food?
And then, until next time,
Keep it cheap and creepy. Almost skipped by that.
bye!
Go look after your mother and sister.
Where you going?